The way you said it, like we're already on video.
Cloudy.
You got that video voice going on.
I'm ready. I'm outright ready. Boom! Welcome to Kara's channel. I'm Mark Lobliner. Nice to see you guys. Decided to come here and be in a random house in Las Vegas, just hanging out doing videos like we do.
That's what we do. What's up, guys? Kara here. As you know, we're down here for the Olympia, but we thought we'd take advantage, film a little content for you guys. For those of you guys know, Mark obviously is extremely experienced businessman, family man, supplement man, bodybuilding world.
Drugs too. So I figured let's talk about some drugs.
We want to talk about competing a little bit more in depth, particularly for my audience, because I do have a large female audience on this channel. I get a lot of ladies coming to me saying they found the channel due to my bikini props, and they were coming to me because they're thinking about competing. And a lot of times I feel like you guys watching my videos sometimes dictates you competing or not competing and how you go about competing. So I feel like we should talk a little bit more about the truth with competing and some of the dirty little secrets.
I don't think it's really a secret. I just think that, you know, what we were talking about earlier is when you set out to win something, sometimes your judgment gets clouded. And then you look back like, man, that was a mistake. I can't believe I did that. That was a short-term decision. And when you're prepping and you're in the middle of prep, you're hungry, your judgment is clouded.
Absolutely.
And let's say you're with a coach, and the coach is like, hey, to get to this level, everybody else is using this. You're gonna be like, I've already done this much. I've put the work in. I've been training. I've built the muscle. I'm just gonna do it just for the show, and I'm gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I trust this coach. He has 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, he's the dude. He knows all the NPC people.
Right.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
And that is, unfortunately for me, and I've coached, you know, hundreds of women.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how a lot of girls get involved in drugs, is that the coaches will say, you need to do this.
This is what it'll take to get to that next level.
Yeah, they get that whatever it takes mentality.
Right, and I think we can both relate to that from both competing before, that you want to do whatever it takes. And sometimes, you know, being a female, you can be doing everything, or a male, doing everything you need to do, and results maybe don't happen as quickly as you want. Maybe you got into your prep too late in the game. Maybe you shouldn't be stepping on stage at all. But in order for your coach to feel comfortable to say you need to get to the stage, this is what they're telling you you need to take. And you want to trust your coach and just do whatever it takes. And that's a bad place to be in. That's, like you said, your judgment is definitely clouded because you almost ignore everything else in your life at times when you're on prep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else takes a back burner to the stage, to that every decision you make throughout the day is a decision based on, is this going to help me bring a better package to the stage or not? At least that's how I'm that cut and dry. Is leaving my house right now and going to hang out with friends going to help me or not help me? Like, that's just how cutthroat it gets with competing nowadays. So for someone to tell you, just take this, everyone else is doing it, and you're going to get the results you need. I think a lot of females aren't really understanding what they're putting into their bodies, and understanding that while you're taking it, even if it's for a short period of time, right, that is going to have some substantial long-term side effects on your health. And
mental and physically.
Yeah.
There are, it gets you into a mental, you know, oh, I've done this, so doing the next step. It's almost a gateway drug to more deleterious things, such as eating disorders, I believe, and such as becoming a long-term user of drugs. And here's the problem. You know, the main drugs I see prescribed, I'm going to use that word very recommended, by these elite NPC coaches, or as I so lovingly call them, NPC tards, is they will prescribe women this two steroids, one called Winstrol, Anavar, those are common, and T3. Now, I have no scientific backing. I usually don't say things without science at least backing it, but in the thousands of people throughout the years I have coached or known who've competed, I've never seen a male take T3, which is a thyroid hormone. That's your thyroid hormone. Right. I've never seen a male take T3 and have thyroid disorder where they have to take thyroid hormone for the rest of their life for their thyroid to even function. The thyroid dies.
Right.
I've seen dozens of women literally kill their thyroid using this drug. And that's just thyroid. Winstrol, Anavar, sure. They're more mild steroids. They're more mild drugs. It's not like taking testosterone. A lot of times they're oral, which goes over the stigma of injecting, right?
Right.
Because a lot of women are like, oh, I don't inject.
Right, so some people may think if they're just taking something orally that it's not performance enhancing drug, even though it is. I think there is that much of a gap of knowledge there with what is considered a PED and what's not.
I literally had to stop from laughing when you said taking something orally. For some reason, it's just, and my humor is just, this isn't my channel.
We have the same humor, everything's
Nah,
it works.
Anyway, so the problem with Winstrol and Anavar is they do aromatize. What aromatizing is it literally gives you male characteristic. Because they are forms of, male hormones in the body. So while Anavar was actually developed for women and children with muscle wasting disorders, it does have the ability to aromatize. So in higher doses or for a longer period of time, it's all about dose and duration.
Yeah.
You might find yourself getting more facial hair. You might find yourself
like the deep voice, when the voice gets deeper.
You might find yourself getting an enhanced jawline. You might find yourself enlarged clitoris, which I think is a good thing. I think the thing is damn hard to find anyway. I think everybody should be on androgens. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that women need to look at the side effects. And it does sound great when you mentally think to yourself, this is just for the 12 weeks. This is just for this. But you get in that mental snowball effect, that mental avalanche where you just start going downhill. The ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it leads to more destructive behaviors later on. And that's what you need to look at. The gateway drug effect is real because you're messing with your physique. And your physique is how you appear to the world. So you get a distorted Instagram image of your body.
Absolutely.
And next thing you know, you're developing these other disorders.
Right.
So the thing I want to,
how do you stop that?
It's
like
hard.
what do you do? You compete, you get there, and do you just stop taking those drugs?
I think my best look was as a middleweight, 174 pounds. In my last pro show, I competed at 220 something pounds. So I think it's always bigger is better, bigger is better. And I think we're always trying to get better. And that's a great personality trait to have.
Yeah.
Except when you get into the destructive behaviors.
Right.
And that's what happens with physique competitions.
Right.
So I think that as far as women are concerned, and this is getting away from the drugs, I think you can, even not in a natural organization, you can, if you get lean enough and you have the genetics to do so, you do not need to take performance-enhancing drugs to get a pro card in Bikini. I've known girls who've done it. In the NPC. Mm-hmm. Everybody says, oh, they're all on drugs. You see these internet cowboys, going on like, oh, all those Bikini girls are on Tren and Anavar and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. First of all, you're a virgin. Second of all, it's not that way. There are some genetically elite females. Like Carrie Underwood. It's just a sexual preference.
Nice legs.
Oh, I'd hit that. No, I mean, at the end of I'd smash it. But at the end of the day, there are genetic elites. Like LeBron James. He's a great basketball player. So what happens is people try to make up for bad genetics with drugs.
Right.
Unfortunately, you can't polish a turd into a diamond. So if you're a turd, you'll just be a bigger turd with more muscle. But you still won't be a diamond. So if you don't have the genetics to at least do, like if you're in the top 3, drugs might make that 2-place difference. Right. But if you're finishing 15th and 20th in a genetically dominated thing, bodybuilding, like Big Ramy, I don't know if your channel knows who he is, he's a big mass monster. He's ugly as shit.
Yeah.
But he places high because he's so monstrous.
Right.
There's not going to be one bikini girl in the world who's going to win because she's monstrous.
Right.
She's going to be pretty. She's going to have a great ass. You showed me that picture of that girl with the hamstring to ass ratio. Yeah, her ham to ass, is that the hamstring to ass ratio?
Yeah, that glute ham tight end.
Yeah, so her hamstring to ass.
Yeah.
But but I mean, that's genetics. Like, there's not a steroid in the world that will give you an ass like that.
Right.
So
absolutely.
All I'm saying, if you're a female competitor and you're with a coach who recommends or tells you need to take drugs to get to X, fire him, don't look back, and if you lose money in the process, it's money well wasted. Or if you paid him through a credit card, be sure to challenge that payment because you don't need it. You just don't.
I've had clients say they didn't even realize they were taking what they were taking after they took it. They didn't know. They want to trust their coach. They want to do what their coach is telling them. And you have to think about, too, the aftermath of competing. Being a natural athlete alone, the aftermath of competing is a tough mental place to be, mentally and physically. That adaptation that you have to go through after having that stage look for one day, it's really tough to transition away from. So throw on top of that the side effects that are going to occur from taking those performance enhancing drugs, maybe stopping them, maybe you're not. You have to think about the life after the stage. You have to think about that. And a lot of people don't. They got the blinders up, they want to win, they want to be the best, they want to turn pro, they want to be on the Olympia stage, you name it. But you have to think about your life beyond competing, because I don't care if you're an Olympian or not, there's going to be life outside of competing. Your health is going to be compromised when you ingest these types of things.
And there's no money in it. I mean, I'm a pro, you're a pro.
Yeah.
I've yet to get one payday off of competing. And when you're throwing on top of that the cost of drugs on top of your hair, makeup, bikini, and all the other crap you have to buy, like drugs, steroids are expensive. So I hear. If you're throwing in that variable, you look at return on investment. If you were to take that time and that effort and that money that you're investing into that,
right,
you can parlay it into other areas of your life that are going to get a better return on investment, and use bikini, competing, even just a recreational lifter. If you don't even compete and you're just like, you have no intention, but you're like, hey, this video sounds interesting, you know, do it as a recreation, as a hobby, but don't get under the assumption that there's a lot of money in competing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
It's not going to be your job. It's no one's career. The people who are making it their career, they likely have maybe some paid sponsorships along the way. They may be waitressing on the side, but they're not showing that on Instagram.
And there's only 5 of them. Like in men's bodybuilding, the top 5 make money. And even that, like, wow, Phil Heath is getting a $300,000 payday. Dude, okay, great. You know, guess what? Like, if you work at your career, you'll be making that a year, and you don't have to get on stage. And also, you got to realize the investment it takes to get there. Like, again,
so much money.
It's all about time investment, and investing your time into something. When you do anything in life, there's a Ben Franklin chart. It's pros and cons. It's a pretty simple chart. And if you look at the pros and the cons, a trophy is really not better than a career where you're able to sustain and have $1 million in your 401k at retirement. Right. Huge difference. So just look at things in perspective. You got to step out of your body and become a consultant, become a third-party consultant to yourself. If you were outside looking in, would you advise yourself to sacrifice your health and potentially your clitoris?
But everyone else on social media is doing it, and those are the people that have all the followers and the likes and the clicks.
And the clitoris.
And it looks
large.
sexy, you know? That's...
And the bulge. I gotta say, I think it's a positive. I really do, but that's just me. Like, the man in the boat just becomes bigger.
Right.
But I think that pretty much covers all I have to say about that. I just want women to know that it's not a necessity.
It's not a necessity. I mean, even fat burners are not a necessity for competing.
No, not at all. Honestly, supplements aren't. I make money selling supplements, but even I'll tell you, look, you know, they help. They amplify, but they don't create. Supplements are supplements. They're not substitutes. So unless you have your diet, your training, and your lifestyle in order, your sleep, all that good stuff, you could take all this, you could buy everything I make times 10 and do nothing but take supplements all day. You're not going to have any results. It's just pretty much like, there's no point in having fuel in your gas tank if you're not driving. It's just sitting there.
That's a great analogy.
So that's all I got to say about females and drugs and perspective.
I agree. I appreciate your perspective on this, Mark.
Anytime.
I know for myself, I don't even like working with bikini competitors if they've dabbled in that before, because I feel like it just changes your body. It changes the way you're going to respond to things, and that's one area I don't even want to get mixed up in. So I avoid it at all costs, and I hope you guys take our advice and do the same. No bikini show is worth it. No trophy is worth it. You have to prioritize your health, and if you want to compete, do it as healthy as possible, even though it's not a healthy sport mentally and physically. You're taking your body to a level it's really not supposed to go to in normal circumstances. So just keep that in mind, and if you are going to do it because you want to and have fun with it, but do it as healthy as possible. Work with good coaches, work with people who know their shit and have some credentials, who have some good experience. and do your research a little bit. So
while it's not healthy, we do it.
We do it because we do love it.
And I miss it, you know? I mean,
same.
I've been retired since 2015, and I mean, I miss dancing around in my little banana hammock and taking my body to unhealthy levels of fat. And I think it's just part of being a human who wants to do epic things in their lifetime.
Yeah.
But again, if you're actually doing those epic things, takes 10 years off your life, I don't know if it's worth it.
Right. Yeah, the older you get, the more you start thinking about these things. So listen to us wise old people, won't you?
Speak for yourself. I'm 26.
Yeah. And I'm 24, so that's going to conclude this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and took a little information from it. Please share it with others who need to hear this message. And leave a comment below if you have any more questions. And check out Marc's channel. I think he has one out there.
Tiger Fitness.
Or my
We'll go to
channel.
that
I don't
one.
know what channel this is going on.
I don't know. It's yours. I'm fine.
Okay. See you guys in the next video.